Makes
Caleb,
great sense.
I hope you recognize I've got your back.
Yeah, Ryan, you're on my side.
Megatron must be stopped, no matter the cost.
Hello, friends. Welcome to the Autopod Decepticast, your bi-weekly podcast that delivers an episode-by-episode breakdown of the Beast Wars series. This is our episode number 219, and this is your host, Aaron, who is with me here.
I'm Caleb. Hello.
I'm Ryan. Goodbye.
You know, the last few episodes have been making such a big deal of fast-forwarding from the 80s to the 90s, so it only makes sense that we will already just go back.
Yep.
To 1985, in fact. That's
just
right.
When you think we're out, they pull us back in.
I think the 80s will just do that to us for our life
Our
cycle.
entire life.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fine.
It's almost like Arrested Development.
Yeah. Only we're thinking back to times that weren't better.
Not objectively. It was a good time to be a kid. I've thought about this a lot. I think it was a good time to be a kid. Probably as an adult, probably sucked.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Depends on if you're getting money on them penny stocks or whatever.
It was a good time to be a serial killer. You could just disappear.
Ah, those
or
were the days.
A deadbeat dad. Just leave the state.
Let's just... Whap, whap.
Starting off.
But we're going back to the 80s.
Great.
Why are we going back to the 80s?
Shout out to Brian Jones for sponsoring this G My Joe episode. Caleb, it's G My Joe.
Well,
it's what you've been asking for. It's dough for dough.
Dough for dough.
Joe for dough.
Joe for Joe.
Joe for Joe.
I love it. Thank you, Brian.
Unknown patron. We haven't forgotten about you.
There it is.
You're in rotation. So yeah, today's episode is perhaps a fan favorite. I don't remember it. 20 questions.
I mean, I didn't watch a lot of Joe.
I think I watched it all, but I don't remember it very well. Not with the same repetition that I did Transformers.
Yeah. We're doing a Joe.
Yeah.
Buckle up, 20 questions.
Or come back in 2 weeks, and we'll have what you really want.
No, stay.
No, stay. You must listen.
It's going to be fun.
Let's see here. Hey, we can shout out the patrons.
All right.
You want to do that? We got Alpha Magnus, Debbie, Jeremy, Skeeter, Mr. Sadler, Mike Seibert of Mike Seibert Radio, Bono, Michael Tremblett, Justin R., Jonathan, Robin is Prime, Classic Daniel, Safubi Samurai, Chandler, Jay Soups, Matty V, Nick the Toy Mad Dad, Ken Buggleman, DFB Greg Murray, who maybe has changed back to Moondog. I've seen Moondog on the social medias more.
I think he made a post about he was just changing it back.
I didn't see
He's
it.
accepting his true destiny.
I thought it was a copyright thing. But Captain Alexis, Corey, James and Julia, Michael Ordway, Tim Dubbs, Jason from Cracktastic Plastic, Thomas, Justin B., Triclops, Alex Simon, New Daniel, Seven the Chronicler, Argonus Prime, The Unknown Patron, Brian Jones, Rick, a.k.a. Autobot 1000, Mark, a.k.a. Zarmat, and now also the Anonymous Patron.
Mm-hmm.
Anonymous.
Thank you all.
Anonymous.
I can't believe
Oh, my God.
we have this fine group of people supporting us.
The sun just literally came out.
Well,
It's
Windows. Wow.
Well, I'm
Caleb's
excited.
never seen it.
Well, it's been cloudy here. The sun has not come out for about a week.
Little darling, it's been a long,
I'm so
long,
excited.
lonely winter.
Let me tell you about how my knee's been aching. Want to talk about the weather?
Ryan.
Yeah.
Make us something that has, 20 ingredients.
Well, maybe if you break down the components and what's in the mixers.
Yeah.
Into the elemental structure.
If you did that, I bet there's not 20 different atomic types in a cocktail. I don't know. I would assume it's mostly hydrogen and oxygen and
Should we check in the laboratory?
maybe some carbon.
Should we break this down?
Yeah. What is the average chemical composition of a cocktail? Okay.
We're over here in the lab.
Yeah. We're testing Ryan's given us a sample drink, and we ran the strips, and we're going through the whirligig.
Yep.
What do you call that?
The whirligig.
The whirligig.
It's a centrifuge.
A centrifuge.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's other thing. I'm finding other chemical components in here from Ryan that are.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Human semen just popped up on the
It
readout.
says human semen.
Yeah. Thank God it's human. I guess. What else are you seeing there?
Fascinating. Seeing some borium,
Okay.
some hydrogen,
Oh, nice.
some uranium.
Oh shit! Where'd you get that?
I'm seeing some. What's that stuff that Superman was?
Krypton.
I'm seeing some
Kryptonium?
Kryptonium in here.
Nice, you fucking idiots.
There's some energon.
Oh shit!
There's some unobtainium.
All the
Stupid shit.
Is there adamantium in there?
Adamantium too. This is amazing. I can't wait to.
I
drink
didn't.
this.
I never would have guessed that these cocktails were so complex.
There's some water. Some H2O.
Trace amounts of alcohol.
Trace amounts.
There's also some carnauba wax. This was made by the surfer bank robbers
Yeah.
from that movie.
It's
Point blank. Point break.
point blank. We're
Hey,
good.
hey,
We're-
Utah. Give me two.
Just because we have a cool lab doesn't mean that we're really that good of scientists.
Right. No, we haven't gone through the training. I mean, we have all this audio equipment and
Yeah. This is where the bias to drink stuff. We got a lab out of this.
right. Mountain Dew?
Did you take lab back in school? Have you ever have you ever dissected an animal?
Yeah, a couple.
What? Like what?
We did a frog in 8th grade, Mr. Lakin's 8th grade
Oh yeah.
science class. We did a fetal pig in Mr. Mustache's biology class in high school.
I once saw Mr.
Farquhar?
Yeah, that's right.
Farquhar.
I once saw Mr. Lakin get so mad in class that he kicked one of those desks, you know, the chair desks.
Mm-hmm.
He kicked it, and he kicked the underside of the desk, and it flipped it, and it did a 360 and landed back on its upright. He was so
Why?
mad.
What happened?
He was so mad. I don't know. Someone made him mad, and he kicked the desk.
I wish he was here right now to help us translate this data.
He did mad at us and kicked the table over.
Oh.
All right, let me shut this stuff down.
Okay. Oh, yeah.
Ryan's
It's still
got the drink.
there's still ingredients being
I'm
listed
running.
out, but Ryan will just
I'm
tell
running.
us.
I'm running. Ryan, instead of us trying to figure out through this lab equipment, could you just tell us what's in here?
Hey, so we have a cocktail brought to us from a frequent Bias to Drink contributor and the commissioner of this Joe-episode, Brian Jones. This episode will air on Super Bowl Sunday 58, and our cocktail today is inspired by one of Brian's favorite football players, Ted Ginn Jr., who played for Brian's home state of Ohio in college. In addition to 14 seasons in the NFL for the Dolphins, 49ers, Panthers, Cardinals, Saints, and the Bears. I don't know, nor am I interested in anything football-related, but Brian sent links to a couple of videos, and this Ginn fella, he seems pretty righteous.
What was his position?
He ran the ball.
A running back?
Yep.
Okay.
He played on the football team.
I think he was wide receiver. I think. I don't know.
What's his
There's-
name again?
Ted Ginn Jr.
There are two important football
Ted Ginn.
games today, but
The Chiefs are playing today
they're
against
playing
the
the
Baltimore Ravens. Yeah.
and then the Lions are playing against the 49ers. I'm an underdog. I'm always going for the underdog,
He is
so
a
I'm
wide
going
receiver.
for the Lions.
Nailed it. I was telling Aaron earlier, sometimes
Lions.
I was thinking about this the other day, and I'm like, it must be nice to like things like football, to look forward to something, to care about.
Well, there's.
For
Do you look forward to anything?
I look forward to lots of things. It's just, it seems like people seem to like sports, and I'm like, I can't. It's just not a thing.
Yeah,
It seems like something that people, they, as long, I don't know. There are some people who attach their egos to it and become strange.
that
but,
can be annoying for me, but
yeah, I was just like wistfully thinking like, oh, to look forward to like a couple of hours on a Sunday seems real nice.
I got into Cardinals baseball while I lived in St. Louis. A fair weather fan for sure, but it was fun to listen to it. I like listening to baseball on the radio for some reason. It's very relaxing to me. And
He got all of that one.
yeah,
It's a lie. It's a frozen rope.
Can of corn.
just a little outside.
All of my baseball knowledge comes from playing like VR sports or whatever.
Yeah, like MLB
Yeah,
99
PlayStation
on
games.
PlayStation.
Aaron,
Yeah.
have you ever done any fantasy football?
I've tried. I never keep up with it.
Now let's
I've
cut
never
to that ad we have for fantasy sports.
Yeah.
I started watching a documentary on football about the Six Nations series for rugby, and those guys, they beat the crap out of each other.
Bunch of scrum bags.
They all nice. See, Ryan knows
He had a
lots.
word.
Yeah.
I stole that from that joke
But they,
stolen.
every like half the guys that are talking on this, you can see their noses have been like just they've been broken. You know, they've healed weird. They're flat or crooked. But anyway, I've been watching that. I wouldn't say I follow rugby, but it's kind of fascinating to get on the inside and see what those guys are up against, which are other equally large, intimidating men.
Yeah.
But today we're talking about football.
Yeah.
So
Wait. Before you get it. So, Caleb, you're looking to a Lions-Chiefs Super Bowl. That's what you're hoping for?
I mean, yeah. I would like to see. I'm an underdog kind of guy, so I want the Lions to do well, just because they've never won before, and
Well, by the time this comes out, we'll know how
Yes.
that played out.
well,
for real.
depending on what time it comes out,
oh yeah,
True.
this comes out on Super Bowl Sunday.
oh wow.
It'll come out before
That's kind of
the
exciting.
Super Bowl.
Somebody's
Unless it's
going to
like
have
today.
Somebody's going to have an amazing day of watching the Super Bowl and listening to our amazing podcast.
At the same time?
Yes, sure, why not?
Yeah.
At a giant party.
At a giant party, guys, shh, check this out. Yeah, I would actually encourage everyone that's listening, if you're going to a Super Bowl party during the halftime show, tell them to turn off the TV, turn on the
Who's
the podcast.
performing this year?
Usher.
Oh, yeah,
That's gonna be
easy
awesome.
miss.
He's going to be bound.
Easy miss.
How
Put
many?
that off.
How many of those hydraulic platforms do you think Usher's going to be propelled off of? You ever seen that? He's all about jumping on those platforms that like pushes him like 15 feet in the air and then he lands.
Oh.
It's amazing.
He's quite a performer.
I don't know how his knees take it.
Well, maybe okay. That sounds pretty exciting. Put the TV on mute. Don't turn it off, but let that play while you.
There's no
listen
better way to
this
experience a
podcast.
musical act than on mute.
While you're listening to our ass. Anyway, sorry.
All
Ryan,
right,
go ahead. That was
Ted
fun.
Ginn Jr. The Ted Ginn Jr. cocktail experience.
This cocktail for today is Brian Jones' invention, as per usual. It's the Gin and Juice. So here we
I
go.
like that wordplay.
2 ounces or 60 mils of gin, 12 ounces or 355 mils of 7-Up, because that was Ginn's college number, 6 ounces or 177 mils of lemon lime Gatorade, because he's an athlete, and I just built this in a glass over ice and mixed it. Now, you may have noticed this is a very light cocktail, which clocks in about 3.8 ABV and a staggering 20 ounces. So you would not be remiss in adding more gin if you like, or reducing the amount of mixers by a factor of 4. But that wasn't Brian's assignment. I kept the ratios the same, but cut the amounts in half because I don't have glasses large enough for that amount of liquid. So, the Gin and Juice. You want to taste it?
Yeah, man.
So ours is the as intended.
Yep.
A little,
It's just half
a
amounts.
light spritzer
Yeah, man.
of 7-Up, Gatorade, and gin.
Oh, yeah.
God, I wish I'd worked out before I came here. This is get them electrolytes going.
Yeah, I love it. It's hydrating and dehydrating
I
at
have
the
so
same
much
time.
Gatorade left.
Drink it.
Thank you. I mean, it is...
It has a refreshing element.
Would you call it, Caleb?
Oh, yeah. I mean, gin and 7-Up and Gatorade it's very refreshing.
I like the wordplay as well. Brian said the drink has a silly name, but is tasty, and thanks till all are one. So thank you, Brian, both for the Ted Ginn Jr. cocktail, the Gin and Juice, and for commissioning this Joe episode. And maybe you can listen to it before the Super Bowl starts, and I hope it lives up to your expectations. Although I think he said his team is out of it, so...
where does he live?
I don't know if he lives there now, but he said his home state is Ohio, so...
I wonder if they go for Green Bay over there.
No, they're probably Bengals and
Who are the Buckeyes?
I don't know.
That's college team.
Oh,
There's people
that's
screaming.
the only thing I can
Ohio
think
State.
of.
People screaming
Okay.
at us right now.
So, is that... All right.
That's the drink.
That's the drink.
There was not 20 ingredients.
Sorry.
We'll have to go back to the lab, Caleb.
I'll go back later.
All right, last episode recap. We kicked off the Beast era with Magic Mountains pumped with explosive purple energon, lots of maximizing, a fair share of terrorizing, a little insubordination, and at least one character who thinks he should be everybody's leader, regardless of faction. Maybe there's more of that in the future. I don't know.
I don't think there's more of that.
Don't spoil it.
All right.
So now let's pivot. Joe for Joe.
Caleb was sending us
dough for dough.
Caleb was sending us pictures of some Joe merchandise he's been making, and I felt like at the time, I'm like, I think Caleb just wants to do a Joe podcast.
No, I'm just trying to
But
brainstorm
I won't let him.
stuff. No, I can always tell I give a lot of great ideas, and Ryan
They're
doesn't
not
say
appreciated.
anything. That's fine.
No, I like
kinda
the I like the thing you came up with.
Yeah, I mean, I like the concept.
That'll be
We'll
a booty
see.
box item, right?
Could be.
If we can get the pricing right, if I can get I don't want to buy 100 of these particular things,
Right.
And if we can get that going for a reasonable amount of money, it would actually be pretty cool.
All right.
All right.
No more detail on what it is. We'll leave
Nope.
what could it be? A G.I. Joe related booty box.
Did you want to hear about our merchandising purchasing issues?
Believe me, everybody's going to get something in their box that we're going to have a lot left over. All right, so let's talk about Doe for Joe, the episode 20 Questions,
Yep.
Season 1, penned by the legendary Booze Dixon.
Episode 13.
Have
Thanks
you ever
for
made a drink called the
making that
Booze
clear.
Dixon?
That's not bad. That's a good idea. It's
I'm
Buzz
writing-
Dixon, of course, just
Right,
so
just writing
anybody
it
doesn't
down.
get mad. But
What would be
I
in a
was just
booze?
putting a little stank on
I
it.
think about it. We'll think about what would be in a Booze Dixon. I'm just putting that. I'm just writing that down.
If
Okay.
we see Booze at TFCon in March, maybe we,
might
could ask
try to
him.
make a boost. Have our
Yeah.
patrons help us make a Booze Dixon.
Yeah.
I
over
cannot deal with you calling him Booze.
That's it from now on. We open up. It's a beautiful, idyllic scene.
Let's fuck it up.
Blue skies, green trees, a beautiful meadow devoid of tigers and chicks. But why enjoy all that when the Joes have a killer airsoft tournament going down?
there. Some war games.
We do have a Optimus Prime's rifle sound coming from the, I think, they're Joe Marauder tanks. Brian said we could ask him for
Mauler.
That's what I said. Didn't I say
You
that?
said Marauder.
Oh, Mauler. I meant Mauler. I read Mauler and said Malauler. No, no, that's not
Megan
accurate
Minalaller
either.
is a great
Wow.
comedic actress.
So Brian said we could ask him for identification help with any of the vehicles, but I didn't get to watch this episode until the day before we're recording, so I hope I don't fuck up any. I don't think I fucked up
I think
any
I
other.
got it down.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
I got your back, Jet. Mortar explosions of white processed flour below the skies
Yeah.
open. Yeah, and the smaller, driven by Flint, charges through the field. Yo, Joe. You got Flint, Scarlet, Spirit, Shipwreck, Alpine, and perhaps some other Joes tearing up the field. No regard for the groundskeeping work that's gone into this area. Flower bombs, lasers seem to be on stun. Alpine zaps Shippy Boy in the tit, and the latter executes an extremely theatrical death scene.
Shipwreck's giving it his best.
Yeah. Cover Girl, flying above in her Skyhawk, commands the Joes to cease fire. There are civilians in the area. And who is it? It's that asshole, Hector Ramirez, shooting tape for his deep dive
It's your
segment.
boy.
His segment is called No Dough for Joe.
Yeah.
He and his producer Arnold and camera person Tom are raking much muck. They shove a camera in Flint's face, asking for his opinions on whether January 6th, I mean, Cobra is a hoax invented to suck up taxpayer money.
Yeah, we get so Hector's news magazine is called 20 Questions, which I guess is just the reference to this show's. But that's the only time we hear the name of the name of this episode is not really reflective, I feel, of what happens in the episode. But we get a great example of a technique of Weasel words here with the phrase, "Some people say G.I. Joe is a needless military extravagance at best."
Sounds like bad oratory tactics.
Many people are saying. So yeah, you said Hector's producer Arnold, which It's not clear that he's the producer, I don't think. It is because I read it.
I think I just gave Arnold that role because that's, I don't know.
Yeah,
Why are you there?
I read that he was the producer, but he's not addressed as it, and we don't even find out his name, I believe, until about a third of the way through the episode.
Yeah, I had to go back and add it to my early
Yeah.
notes.
What's he clutching in his briefcase? He's like clutching.
Hey, we'll get to that. The man looks like Toad from the Singer X-Men movie. He's so great. What a wonderful character he is to have on the show.
Well, Gung Ho and Alpine, they say Flint. They say to Flint, like, don't go in for this uncharitable bullshit. But Hector then demands to see the Joe's commanding officer.
They give in instantly.
Yeah,
Like, why? You're not incumbent to push.
the Joe's got nothing to hide. They're on the up and up.
Yeah.
So we return, or we find ourselves at the Joe base. Duke is not here right now, so he puts Hector and Arnold and the cameraman into an office. Arnold rather, claims to have an inside connection with the Committee of Basic Reductions in Armies, and they have proof that this whole Joe thing is a sham. They have also have pictures of Hunter Biden's ding dong.
I was waiting to see what real world reference you were going to tag to the end of that. Where's his laptop?
But that's another episode.
As I was, the Committee on Basic Reduction of Armies. As I was writing that, I realized the clever thing Buzz Dixon did with that. Mm-hmm. It's very funny.
I like that they don't even
address it. Not at all.
Yeah. It's just for the fan to cipher.
To decipher. Also, this level of conspiracy. It would be much funnier to me if we didn't have modern shit like Q and climate change deniers, because it's deep. Like, the number of people who'd have to be involved for siphoning off taxpayer money with a fake terrorist situation and military operation.
Yeah.
It's a lot of trouble.
Yeah. I understand that
there's easier ways to steal money.
Hey, don't have to tell me. Just take it out of the register.
It's tax season, everyone.
I understand it's a show about military groups, so obviously it's pro-army, and Arnold is stupid and insufferable. But in principle, I completely agree with the idea of reducing military spending.
Oh, for sure, yeah. But they really layer in the pinko shit thick with this guy.
Yeah, Duke later says that Hector Ramirez is just the type of journalist that loves doing a hatchet job on the military.
But the funny thing is, in reality, Geraldo is kind of a right-wing guy.
Yep.
And I assume anybody working with him is similar sensibilities.
Yeah.
So
that's funny. It's because I'm getting a little ahead, but Shipwreck makes a joke about feeding people with floppy disks, but there is a cogent point of, like, with a fraction of the military budget, we could provide the basic care for everyone in the country. But that's not what America's about. Bombs.
USA.
Yeah.
USA.
We got to defend our way of life, man.
Hey, why don't we just carpet bomb Yemen?
Oh, wait.
Done.
Let's see. Where are we? What the fuck?
Sorry, that was a lot. I had a lot
the
of notes
cameraman scoffs at the conspiracy, but the producer is unfazed. Producer in quotes. We don't know what they are. I'm going with producer. And they are gripping tightly, as Caleb referenced, a briefcase throughout this whole thing.
The whole
but I
show
don't.
to the...
No, I just now.
I don't think it ever.
It does, but there is a reason, and I'll tell you.
And
the
I
reason
just now realized it.
What the reason is?
Yeah,
yeah.
like
it's very stupid, but
well, I can tell you now if you want, Aaron.
No, we'll just wait till we get there.
Nah,
yeah, but it's funny. I did not realize that until I was like, oh yeah.
You guys, anticipation.
Yeah. So the cameraman's like, I think you guys might be a stretch, and Arnold's like, are you going to listen to this guy from Ozarks Technical Community College media degree?
He calls him the help or something like that.
Shots fired at OTC. Watch it, man.
No, I'm not firing at OTC. That's just this producer's attitude.
What do you mean?
That's Arnold's attitude. He calls
the cameraman
he's
the
an
help.
elitist.
He calls the cameraman the help. Are you going to listen to the help?
Gotcha. No
Meanwhile,
shots fired at OTC.
No, I got credits from there.
They're
So do
great
I.
plays.
I took political science there.
Yeah. I didn't go there, but they're all right.
You had a full ride at your fancy private college.
Hey, it's a liberal arts school, okay?
I got
OTC was next door.
I got my extremely useful associate's degree from OTC. Then that's come in handy.
We had to literally drive across a set of train tracks to get from our campus to theirs.
And it's just like,
And as soon as you cross the tracks,
it's just trash and tumbleweeds.
No, their campus is very nice now.
it is nice. I think they get some good funding.
Yeah.
But meanwhile, Shipwreck, he ponders his billiards talents as his teammates watch Spider-Man on the big screen in the rec room.
Weird. They were watching Spider-Man. That was interesting. I don't know. I guess. Oh, it is a Marvel production.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Flint
got that.
Flint busts into the rec room and commands Shipwreck to babysit Ramirez and company. Take him on a tour of the base or something.
Yeah, good choice.
I don't like. Speaking of good choices, I don't like the choice of yellow as your rec room color.
No?
It
You think it's a little abrasive?
Yeah, it's too much. You can't rest. You can't relax with a bright, saturated banana.
That's why they don't want them using the break room.
That's true.
Get out there and
Train.
This is a psyop.
Kick some ass.
Shipwreck takes the media to show off the air defenses and the training grounds. He gets pissy about the producer's insistence. I keep referring to the producer instead of Arnold because I only replaced the name in one part.
I also like how
Arnold's insistence.
just really unattractive and awful they made him look. He looks terrible. He's unshaven. He seems to have acne.
Yeah. He's just a dirty,
Yeah, he looks
scuzzy hippie.
Looks like he does not smell great.
Yeah. Shipwreck is a little angry because Arnold keeps saying that Cobra is just a well-produced myth. Shipwreck gets wind that there is a Cobra base in the Rocky Mountains.
Well-
Yeah, go ahead.
No, he takes him.
He takes him to a computer room.
He doesn't take him, but he goes into a top secret area.
Yeah.
And they follow him.
Yeah.
Like, it's fucking ridiculous.
And he's like, you got to get out of here. But then
But
then this Cobra-based intel comes through the pipeline.
he's like, you think that's fake? That's my Shipwreck.
So he feels like this is a perfect opportunity to illustrate that Arnold's theories are just pure phooey.
Mm-hmm.
Shipwreck sneaks the media stooges into a dragonfly to shepherd them to the Rocky Mountains.
Yeah, so he's compromised a top secret info and takes the film crew on a completely unauthorized mission. I think Flint may have backed the wrong pony whenever he chose Shipwreck to show them around.
Yeah, I would agree. Shipwreck's the kind of guy you would want to take him out on the town or something like that.
Right.
Have
He's
some
the party
fun.
boy.
Yeah.
I know my future. Partying.
Shepherding him to the Rockies. Speaking of shepherd, Zartan is posing as one, and he gets a visual on the dragonfly and alerts the Dreadnoughts.
Always great to see the Dreadnoughts.
Dreadnoughts.
I had to look that up because I always want to say Dreadnoughts.
Yeah, I looked it up also, but I did not correct myself in these notes. They quickly deploy a SAM, surface-to-air missile.
That's right.
To intercept Shipwreck's chopper, and that, I believe, is where we go to commercial. I'll pause a second here. I mean, I assume that most of the listeners know the reveal that will happen later, and I feel like they all should have been more careful. Or I feel like the whole plan around the Baroness's disguise, maybe nobody knows. Maybe the rest of the Cobras.
She was embedded that deep. She was willing to take that kind of chance for this kind of situation. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, maybe. We can come back to that after the reveal, maybe. But yeah, they fired a missile at her.
Or maybe the writers, when they wrote this show, didn't really take that into consideration.
Maybe they hadn't figured out the twist.
Yeah. Or they just kind of throw that away.
All right. Back from the break. Gung Ho and Scarlet are...
Sorry, just real quick. That where before we go to the break, that where they fire the missile and there's a chase for the helicopters, Shipwreck's dodging it. It's really great. Like, the animation is fantastic. And Aaron and I were talking about this before the show. Like, consistently, Joe animation is great.
Yes.
Yeah. And why is it so much better than Transformers? I don't know, because I can't find what studios did it, but...
Well, I assume it's Toei, but I don't know the answer.
That,
like, stylistically, it feels
it's
like
good stuff.
Toei?
Toei.
Toei. It feels like Toei, but if you don't know, I don't know.
I couldn't. There's not, again, the information on the production of Joe is thin on the ground, thin in the air, and just generally pretty trim.
The color's good. Oh, the color's good. Yeah, it's good stuff. The music's good. It's a better cartoon, really.
We've wasted our lives. Back from the break. Gung Ho and Scarlet are seeking out Shipwreck. They discover that Shipwreck has smuggled the journalist to the Cobra Rocky Mountain base, and Duke is gonna kill him when he finds out.
He's in real trouble, and Gung Ho's like, because of Cobra, and then is that CoverGirl or Lady J or Scarlet? I think it's CoverGirl.
No, my bad. Did I say Scarlet?
I don't know.
I would have thought that was Scarlet just because they just look a lot the same.
They do. They look very similar, but I think that's CoverGirl. But like, yeah, she's like, Gung Ho says because of Cobra, and she's like, nah, because Duke's gonna kill him.
Shipwreck punches.
He does punch Arnold in the face, which is satisfying to me.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, it's good. Shippy busts some fancy maneuvers, dodges the missile, and ends up crash landing the chopper. It's busted, but everybody is safe. Back at the rec room, Spirit and Alpine play pool. Alpine shows disgust in how Spirit shares his food with the eagle Freedom. And he shows even more disgust when he learns, what I learned, that raptors sexually imprint to their handlers, and that when breeding falcons, the breeders literally let the male bird fuck their head with a special hat designed to collect the bird's semen.
Wow, that's really interesting.
Let's not even get into how the breeders then transfer that juice to the females.
By mouth.
I mean, is it going to be that gross, or do they just inseminate?
I can't actually. It's been weeks since I put
breeders
these notes
dress
together.
up as a giant eagle. And like,
I feel like there's a lot of hand stuff.
Okay, a lot of hand play.
Hand play, yeah.
Well, there's a lot of manual masturbation in inseminating animals in the first place.
Ugh, I don't like it.
Pigs, elephants, horses. Well, horses have a
It
sleeve.
takes me back to Freddy Got Fingered. Like, I'm a farmer. I'm a farmer.
I just always think of that. I think it's.
I think it is Scarlet because my notes
Maybe
say
it's Scarlet.
over
I
and
can't
over
tell.
again.
Sometimes I can't tell Scarlet and CoverGirl apart because I think
Not a true fake fan.
I think CoverGirl is in the. Because I feel like, isn't it CoverGirl who goes with them to the base, like to infiltrate the Cobra base, or is it Scar? I don't know.
It's definitely CoverGirl. CoverGirl's wearing Scarlet's got more of.
Yeah, it is. It's CoverGirl.
Yeah, it's CoverGirl.
I
She's got a jacket on.
Yeah, that's what she was wearing.
Yeah, Scarlet does not have a jacket on. Yeah,
And she has short
All
hair.
right, all right,
yeah,
all
it's
right.
definitely CoverGirl.
Okay. Then all my notes are wrong, and every time I say
okay.
Scarlet,
It's okay.
then
It's not. You're bad.
What
I
if
feel bad.
CoverGirl is Scarlet, but she kind of has like alter egos,
yeah.
and like, and that's why she calls that herself CoverGirl in that situation.
I would have loved it if at the last
Not
episode.
because she's hot.
No, but because that's like her
She's
cover.
undercover, girl.
Do you think CoverGirl is a hot name?
I feel like CoverGirl is
Like CoverGirl magazine.
is like a
It's
like
a
reference-
magazine?
It's a reference
what the
to
reference is.
well, it's a makeup.
It's a makeup
brand.
company.
right?
Right, but what a
And
cover.
if you're
what
a cover girl because you're
on the
pretty
cover.
enough
You're
to
on
be
the
on
cover.
the cover.
So it's not a magazine. It's a thing on the magazine.
It's
I
a
thought you were
term.
just saying it's a magazine.
But it's also a magazine.
It's a stupid name for a character.
I don't know if it is it a magazine.
Oh fuck!
No,
I
it's
don't
not.
think it's a magazine.
On CoverGirl magazine.
You'd be on the cover of Cosmo.
It's all falling apart. Where the fuck are we? It is funny, like whenever CoverGirl and Gung Ho talk to Alpine about Shipwreck being in the Rockies, he says, naturally, where else would you expect to find a sailor in trouble? Which I thought was funny.
I think those are ads for CoverGirl makeup. Caleb's trying to make.
I'm
his
glad
point.
that nobody was listening to me.
CoverGirl is the premier print, high fashion, and celebrity review magazine with a focus on fashion and designers from around the world. Okay. Actually, there. Now we can move on. I had to defend
Ryan,
it.
say your thing.
I
Again.
had
No.
to defend it. I had to defend it.
It's lost forever.
CoverGirl and Gung Ho bust into the rec room. Stop all this bird sex talk. We got to go save Shipwreck in the Rockies. Shipwreck, Arnold, Hector, and the camera guy, whose name I decided to forget,
Tom. It's Tom.
wander the Rocky Mountain foothills. They see the Joes fly above them. Where you going, you scurvy hounds? Shipwreck serendipitously stumbles upon a missile launcher, which Zartan will use to murder those
Well,
Joes.
no, so he's looking for the missile launcher, but for some reason Arnold is still skeptical about the existence of the missile launcher, despite having one almost literally fire up his ass. It doesn't make any sense.
Well, we know from the true identity of that person that they're just doing anything they can. At this
Even but in the world of the episode, it doesn't make any sense.
You're right.
That's not a missile launcher.
But you're right, Caleb. It does. I guess maybe it's some disinformation that she's trying to keep. They're trying to keep from.
Hector is
finding.
just easily manipulated.
He really is. He says almost nothing in this episode.
Yeah.
It's barely there.
He does kind of save the day. But Shipwreck disables the launcher, saving the Joes, but creating the need for Cobra Commander and a squad of Rattlers to enter the fray.
Weird, because, yes, they drain the lake, the Rattlers come out, and you hear Cobra Commander order the Rattlers. And at this point, I was wondering, why don't we see Cobra Commander?
Yeah, he's
and
not in any of them.
This where I thought Arnold was Cobra Commander.
I understand. Yeah.
I was wrong. But not that wrong.
I was confused when that happened as well.
It's just weird. I don't know why he's off camera saying it.
Shipwreck has got to re-rig the launcher to save his buds.
I hope he reverses polarities.
Gung-Ho takes one in the tailpipe while Spirit hits the brakes, then blasting 2 Rattlers from behind. Shipwreck takes control of the missile launcher and knocks the remaining Rattlers out of the sky, but his celebration doesn't last long because Zartan has captured the journalists and Shipwreck.
He seems to hologram into the scene.
Yeah.
I don't really know what that is, but I don't remember this from other episodes, or maybe he's just not featured in the other episodes we've done, but Zartan, they put some weird metallic filter over his voice, which I think is neat.
Yeah,
but I'm like,
sounds good.
But why? I mean, it's cool, but I just don't.
Just to give it some punch, I guess.
Yeah, all right. I'll accept it.
I got a little bit more on Zartan later for you guys.
Yeah, I still can't get around that that's a hood and not his hair.
Can't. When I learned that, I was like,
Yeah.
what is my life?
Yeah.
The Cobras are taking the captured Shipwreck and journalists into their base in the Rocky Mountains. Everyone is blindfolded, but the cameraman. And also, why blindfold them? They know where they are.
That is strange. Don't look at this elevator. And a nondescript rock.
Yeah. And they're going to kill them.
Yeah. It doesn't make a good. Maybe they just had we got all these blindfolds. It's like some of our merch.
It's for the dramatics.
We have all these buttons.
Arnold continues to state this whole situation is staged, enraging Zartan. The blindfolds come off, and we see a giant underground base, a Cobra civilization with movie nights and everything.
They're gonna watch a movie.
Dude, I love it. It reminds me that reminds me of the announcer I wonder if it's an homage to MASH at all, because MASH did that kind of stuff.
The
Yeah.
monotone. I didn't write it down, but I think the movie they say is the name of an episode of G.I. Joe, or the last episode of Joe, or something like that. It's in the Joepedia article. There he is. We're way past this, but
Well, he materializes like that because he has camouflage
powers. Yeah. But he's not the Predator.
I understand, but I guess that's just what they did. It is fun to see him materialize behind Shipwreck dancing like a buffoon.
Cobra Commander pulls up and details the plan. Cobra is going to attack the Rocky Mountain chemical weapons arsenal. Do they really need to build this giant expensive base just for that one
Hell yeah.
mission?
Hell yeah, that's
I think
Cobra style.
Cover Girl
baby.
later says every Cobra agent in the world is in it. I'm like, really? You putting all your eggs in one basket?
Man, this is Cobra
In
Commander
the Rocky Mountains?
style, man.
So, Cobra Commander says the military may have qualms about using explosive gas, but Cobra does not.
Yeah.
And they make a lot of hay about this in this episode, but, napalm exists.
That feels like propaganda.
Yeah, for sure.
It feels like an obligatory
Like we have cluster bombs.
U.S. government gave them $100,000. Be like, make us look good, okay?
Oh, so now you're actually getting into the conspiracy side of it.
That's true.
Whatever, Arnold.
Maybe Arnold's got something right about this situation. Hector speaks up. He still thinks this whole thing is a fake, but Arnold
He's an idiot.
has had it.
Mm-hmm.
He rips off his mask, revealing The Baroness. She was a part
yeah.
of an operation to undermine public support of the Joes.
The Baroness was a man,
No
baby.
more briefcase now. Don't need that briefcase no more.
And that's the reason she was carrying a goddamn briefcase.
I still don't get it.
To cover her
to
breasts.
cover her tits.
What?
Yeah.
Yes.
Isn't that stupid?
To cover that she had breasts. To
Like-
cover that they had breasts.
Have you never been to like a drag show? You wrap them. You can wrap your tits.
Yeah, there's things to do.
All the drag shows I've been to, they're just carrying around briefcases.
But look,
all the time.
Arnold's not holding
Like
the
a drag
briefcase
king,
over
yeah.
his
I
tubby
know,
torso right there.
Continuity problem right there.
They had
obviously.
there's like
right.
Arnold's wearing a chub suit up until the mask comes off, and then that disappears, and we see that lovely.
It's a
lovely body.
man.
All
Trying
right.
to take my joke?
Did you say that?
I said she's a man, baby.
Oh
yeah.
shit! Sorry.
Fucking assholes. You don't listen to my
I heard you say
my
it.
2001
I felt
humor.
awkward when he said it. It's like, here
Why?
we go again.
Sorry.
Anyway, Zartan departs the scene to lead the chemical attack operation. Cobra Commander remains behind to monitor the Joe activity.
Mm-hmm.
Why would the Baroness even let the journalists get this far? Like back when Shipwreck was like, we're going to go to the Rocky Mountains and follow this lead. She should have been like, oh no, that's just a fake lead. I'm not going anywhere with you.
You just don't get it.
I just
Scott.
broke the episode.
You just
Now
don't
that
get
I'm-
it, Scott. You just don't get it.
That's a good. Now I'm thinking about it. Why did she bring them at all?
Because it's fun. This is fun.
There's no point to them existing in the episode. Like, why did she alert them to the presence? Like, her direct actions alerted them to the presence of this base.
I'll say again, you just don't get it, Scott.
I don't know what that is.
That's again from Austin Powers.
Okay, I got it.
We're really trying to make this Austin Powers shtick happen.
Well, it's on the nose.
Duke returns to the base in his Skyhawk. He's ready to confront Hector, but Flint informs Duke that both he and Flint are missing. Wait, Flint informs Duke that Hector and we know who's missing.
I'd like to
Are
think
you
that
thinking of Shipwreck?
Yeah, Shipwreck.
I'd like to think that every time those raptors take off, like in a field somewhere, they just start a forest fire.
Oh, because of the thrusters?
Yeah.
Breaker shows up on the scene to inform the brass that Cobra they're attacking the chemical weapons facility. Alerts are sounded. The Joes are in action. We can't let them get that
I like
gas.
that the sign says Cobra Alert. It's not even a digital sign. It's a written sign with a flashing red light that says Cobra Alert. That's great.
Back to the caves. Baroness hops
Like an
into...
applause sign.
Exactly. On air.
It also insinuates, is Cobra the number one reason or the only reason that Joe exists?
I think so. Yeah, they're specifically a reaction to this terrorist
I guess
organization.
that's what they say in the announcement
In the
to the
intro.
show. Yeah.
I question having a drill vehicle with no top.
Yeah.
That seems dangerous as shit.
Yeah.
Great.
Back at those caves, the Baroness hops in the giant drill, drives it towards Shipwreck Hector and the cameraman. Will they be ground to a tasty sausage?
But going back to Austin Powers, what you're not going to see them die? No, I'm just going to assume that they were killed. A needlessly complex death. I got a gun. We can shoot them right now.
Seems like back from the break. We are outside the Cobra Caverns. Zartan and his crew are heading out. The group is spied by Spirit Gung Ho, Cover Girl, and Alpine. Spirit's partner, the Eagle Freedom, wants them to see something.
And it's just a dead rabbit.
Yeah, it's a bird.
It's somebody with a seaman hat.
It seems like Cobra Rattler operator is hung up in the trees, about to be devoured by a goddamn puma.
This guy's in a tight spot.
Oh, damn, we're in a tight spot. I don't think those are native to the Rockies. I mean, cougars exist, but not
I think pumas and cougars are the same thing.
They're
all
that
mountain
color.
lions. They're all mountain lions.
They
know.
are
I mean,
mountain lions,
that
but I don't think black. I mean,
Maybe that's Baroness's
personal
cougar. I think it's obviously a
The
cougar.
way
it
you
doesn't
said
really
that.
matter. But yeah, that's very funny.
Here's the deal. The bargain they strike is Joes are going to help, but only if the Rattler pilot helps them get into the base. So they save the snitch. We transition to the caves. A drill headed towards them. Hector Ramirez thinks fast Interview. I want to interview you people. And Cobra Commander seems very intrigued by this proposition.
Attention! Don't mind if I do.
Meanwhile, Zartan's crew attacks the chemical facility. Laughing gas, tear gas, explosive gas. They're taking it all.
They do, like, the rattlers start just indiscriminately shooting it, and I was like, that's probably not a great idea with a plant full of gas. But then Zartan does immediately address it, and it's like, just target the towers, you fucking morons.
Yeah.
Stop shooting at the base. Yeah, to your point, Aaron, they have all kinds of gas.
All of it. Helium for birthday parties.
Yeah.
It's all here.
Itching gas for
whatever that exists for.
I do. I'm not entirely sure what laughing gas. I didn't know that the military was stockpiling that, but it's a real problem.
Yeah,
that I've been reading about on the news.
Well, it may be. I rationalized it by thinking this is just like a gas production facility of putting gas into containers, and so that.
So wait, are you saying they're not making the gas? They're just bottling it?
Yeah, they're just a gas bottler, and they've got everything from the dangerous shit to the fun shit all in there.
All right.
When I lived in St. Louis, I lived close to a facility that stored containers like that, and it caught on fire.
Oh God!
And there were containers like that were blowing up, and the ends were blowing off. And they were shooting like rockets through the town, and some of them flew through. Those St. Louis got a lot of old brick buildings.
Mm-hmm.
They were literally puncturing buildings. Somehow, no one got killed or injured.
Good
Lord! They were flying like hundreds of yards away and like flying into buildings. Like,
that's freaky.
That's
wow.
St. Louis.
Honestly, my idea is stupid because. What are you going to do? Package the gas and then
just a
package
bag?
it again? Right. How are you transporting it? Cover Girl, Gung Ho, Spirit, Alpine, they find the Cobra's ventilation orifice. It's like smoke coming out of it. Like that's where they're going to go in and invade. It doesn't feel like a good place to enter
just suffocate.
the facility. Also, I noted I love they took all the gas. They're like, just take it all.
Take it all.
I love picturing the Cobra troops just chilling around their rec room, huffing
nitrous
oxide out of balloons like high schoolers. Zartan and the Dreadnoks return. The Baroness informs them that the commander is being interviewed. The Noks start to route the different types of gas to different areas of the base. The G.I. Joe foursome that has revealed themselves, taking cover next to a truckload of explosive gas.
You missed the part where the Baroness tried to shoot Freedom.
Yeah.
That's a federal crime.
Yeah, that's hardcore.
That's the one thing.
I looked up the penalties for that. It's no fucking joke. It's like a year in prison or like a $250,000 fine.
You have to get your head humped by a whole gang of them.
It's also illegal to disturb their nests or their eggs or offspring.
Sure.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
Don't fuck with eagles,
Don't
man.
do it. Don't fuck with America.
The foursome then reveal themselves. They're hanging out by some explosive gas, so nobody's shooting at them. Shipwreck hops into a Cobra drill thing and drives over some gas cylinders, starting with the laughing gas.
I guess luckily, just
yeah,
an idiot and drives over them.
The containers burst open, leaving the whole cavern overcome with laughter. And then he runs over some itching gas. Cobra troops are laughing and scratching all over the place. It's nuts.
I have to say, this is very silly, but this whole sequence is really fun.
It's
and
goofy from here on out.
It is, but I did find myself laughing at it. I'm like, this is pretty funny. Like, this is kind of fun.
Shipwreck bashes his way. Oh, well, the Joes can't contain themselves as they joyously discuss
how they're going to die.
The ramifications of Shipwreck's activity. There'll be a cave-in. We'll be crushed to a pulp. Ha, ha, ha. Shipwreck bashes his way into the interview room to rescue the journalists as the cave-in starts, and Shipwreck bores his way into a wall with the remaining Joes hopping onto the drill cart.
I did notice that two things about Cobra. I do like how that it's one of the few times where he alludes to his past. He mentions
whenever he held a mutiny in
military school.
Yeah, military school.
And also I noticed Cobra seems to be immune to any of the gas.
I think it had dissipated by the time he comes out. Not visually, but
right.
I think that's the idea.
Sure.
Oh, maybe the mask helped.
Oh, yeah, sure.
COVID.
Yeah. Cobra
The Joes are
Commander.
escaping. Giant boulders are falling all around the base. Even the chuckling cobras know it's time to escape.
Oh shit!
Rattlers exploding for no reason.
Yep.
Yeah, this is dangerous. I don't like it.
I think it's great. It's really exciting.
Shipwreck bores through the exposed side of the mountain, free and safe. Duke lands and wants to know what's up. Still howling uncontrollably, Hector explains that he's got Emmy-winning content from this adventure. Fighting, guns, explosions, laughing gas. Get this tape to the network, boys. And Duke would love an explanation, but he has second thoughts.
Did you say he kisses him?
I didn't see that.
He does. He kisses him and says, "I love you. I love the Joes." It was real weird. No, I liked it though. I do think this is kind of a fun, maybe twist on the punch it, like the laughing ending where all like cartoons end with someone making a stupid comment and everybody laughs.
Freeze frame.
Yeah, but that it works here because
Yeah.
it's a little different. I liked it. I don't know if that was intentional, but
Well,
It
also,
works.
once you're out of the mountain, there's no way that gas is impacting
I think it's
you
just
anymore.
no. I think it has after effects. Like it's in your.
Well, the
Neuro-
after effects
the
of nitrous
neurological-
oxide are like
I
seconds
know,
after
but-
you're
but-
done huffing it.
But we don't know what kind of laughing gas this is.
Does laughing gas exist? Is that just a thing made up?
It's nitrous oxide.
Oh,
It's what they use at the dentist
oh, I
office.
see. I just assumed it was a different kind. It's not nitrous oxide. It's like some kind of. other
Well,
thing.
I mean, for the purposes of the show, maybe they're not
it's
making a
real
correlation.
laughing
But when you,
gas.
in the real world, when you say laughing gas, that's nitrous.
yeah,
Did
And
you
I
guys
don't-
ever, have you ever had nitrous at the dentist office?
yeah. It made me sick. I had to stop.
I've never-
When I was a kid, they had to tell them not to give it to me anymore.
I've never given it to me before. Anyway,
All you got to do is ask, bro.
Hey, you going to hit me up with
Insurance
that
won't
now?
pay for
I don't
it.
know if they do. They still have it.
Yeah.
Oh.
for
It basically just helps you calm down. It just relaxes
Like, why are they fucking
you.
keeping it from me then?
Or just because, I mean, if you ask for it, they'll give it to you.
Ask for it by name.
Yeah.
I want some of that laughing gas.
You guys got any Coke? You know, dentists used to prescribe Coke
Nice.
for like pain. Yep. Let's get some Coke in L.A.
No.
It's possible.
I'm gonna be out front. I'm going to get our fentanyl testers.
Yeah.
I'll go party hardy to Marty.
Marty.
Yeah.
Are there like little test strips you can run?
Oh, yeah.
On your blow?
Yep.
All right. Well, when you see us acting fun,
I'm gonna be out front, just out in the lobby, being like, "Coke, Coke. Anybody got a Coke, Coke?" It's just somebody's gonna be like, "I thought you were selling Coke."
Yeah,
You're
that's-
saying Coke.
so that's the end of the episode.
Mm-hmm.
According to IMDb, this was the first appearance of Hector Ramirez in the Sunbow universe.
Well, it's only the 13th episode, so.
Thought I'd take a moment to shout out Zartan, a super cool voice indeed. Great vocal performance by Zach Hoffman. And as you were alluding to, I love the subtle but clean and effective audio filter they use on that voice. Of course, Zartan is a mercenary, master of disguise, like a chameleon, but with the power to change his appearance with his own will.
Interesting. So he's a
Kind of a superhero.
like a mutant.
Yeah. He can change his skin color to suit his needs. In the comic, he can imitate anyone's voice and physical features. So it should have been Zartan in the role of
Yeah.
Arnold, honestly. He's
Yeah.
a great fighter, well-versed in many mystic martial arts, but also a ventriloquist, speaks over 20 languages and dialects, and is an acrobatic contortionist. Thanks, Wikipedia.
I would love to see his magic show. Like he has a dummy,
Yeah.
ventriloquist. What would the dummy be? It's
Cobra.
a Joe.
Okay. I was say Cobra Commander.
I'm a big dumb idiot. Little mouth clacking.
Zartan has a brother and sister who are twins named Xandar and Zorana, the former voiced by Peter Cullen. They are both members of the Dreadnoks, and we'll see them show up in season 2.
Yeah.
And we saw them in the movie.
I did also like the toy, feature where his skin turned blue in the sun.
Mm-hmm.
That was neat.
Zartan also has a daughter named Zanya. His real name, unknown.
Wait. His real
Zartan's
real name is
real
unknown.
name is
Okay.
unknown. Sorry, that was
indefinite pronoun.
put together not good. Its place of birth also unknown, although there was a file card at one point floating around that said Nice, France, but it was never used or referred to again. In the comic, Zartan killed Serpentor during the Cobra Civil War. In an interview on Besto TV, Zach Hoffman, the voice of Zartan, said that he developed the character by combining the character of Alex from A Clockwork Orange and the character of John Falstaff from Shakespeare's Merry Wives of Windsor. Could that be more pretentious? You start with something everybody kind of gets and throw in something nobody knows.
Well, but no one has. It's not like he's expecting anybody to recognize that. That's just his own development.
Sure.
And I think he does very well at it.
Aaron's upset about it. You art school fuck.
And he's like, you guys fucking asked.
Note that Falstaff is actually a recurring character in the Shakespeare universe, most notably Henry IV Part 1 and Part 2, as well as the Merry Wives of Windsor. He's not officially a character in Henry V, though he is eulogized. Falstaff is a vain and egotistical, much like our friend Zartan. G.I. Joe was Zach Hoffman's most abundant television role. He was in 35 regular season episodes in addition to The Revenge of Cobra and Arise Serpentor Arise and G.I. Joe the movie. He had guest appearances in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, Highway to Heaven, the 2000 era The Fugitive, and Homeland. He's really a theater guy, and as of 7 years ago, he had been performing a one-man show called Tuxedo Man, which he wrote and performed.
So the Shakespeare stuff makes complete sense.
Yeah. He's a stage guy.
Yeah.
Tuxedo Man is about a down-and-out lounge singer, 2 scotches away from oblivion. When he was asked his favorite episode of G.I. Joe, Mr. Hoffman went with Cold Slither. He stated they were originally going to bring in real rock singers to do the musical performances, but the voice actors insisted that they should do it. And so they did.
Okay.
He makes appearances at cons and guests on podcasts fairly frequently. And if you're there, he'll be at the Pop Culture Power Show in Stafford, Texas, April 1st and 2nd.
Oh,
Good.
cool.
Sounds like a cool dude.
In the real world.
All right.
This episode came out before Transformers was even out, right?
I don't think so.
Okay.
No, it definitely didn't. It came out when the second season was coming out.
This is 85?
Because...
Oh, you're right. Okay. Yeah.
I have that actually right here. So G.I. Joe 20 Questions came out October 2nd, 1985. We're back in 1985. Our real number one we covered so long ago in the American Top 40, back on our episode 121, Autobot Spike, which was the premiere of Season 2. And that episode was almost exactly 4 years ago on February 23rd, 2020.
Wow.
Right before the world collapsed.
Oh, it had already collapsed before.
Well...
In a different
way.
Oh, that's right. The pandemic.
For this episode, we're covering a song...
More like Plandemic, Caleb.
Right?
Wow. Good one.
Get Hector Ramirez on that one.
For this episode, we're covering a song that peaked at number 3 on the Billboard Hot 100, California Girls by David Lee Roth, off the EP Crazy from the Heat. The original single by the Beach Boys also peaked at number 3 back in 1965.
Thank God.
For little girls?
Back it up.
Roth's cover had a background vocals from Beach Boy Carl Wilson and, interestingly, Christopher Cross, who I love. Christopher Cross. Sailing. That's enough. The music video is a Federico Fellini-esque situation with Roth as a tour guide on and around the beach covered in hot ladies in bikinis. Roth's character is called Diamond Dave, apparently. Roth said of that,
He's called Diamond Dave.
that is definitely a part of me. I grew up in that whole Southern California thing. I delight in it. But you don't have to be there to celebrate the spirit.
I like how they're elevating that video to a Fellini-esque.
I know. He's just walking around talking about hot girls and then showing up for a second, then he moves on to the next ones.
It's a Baroque style.
I remember that.
fantasy situation. Yeah. I'm just, listen, most of my shit just comes straight from Wikipedia.
Yeah, it's all good.
Some interesting actors in the video. One of the tourists is Jane Leaves, who plays Daphne on Frasier. And a female bodybuilder is played by Roth's personal trainer, Kay Baxter. The session musicians on the song are a group known as The Wrecking Crew, which I just thought was fun.
Yeah, The Wrecking Crew. I didn't realize The Wrecking Crew backed up that song.
That means that he recorded it in Gulf Shores, Alabama.
No,
because that's
Muscle Shoals.
Muscle Shoals. Yeah, you're right.
But hell, sounds like hey, everybody, come down to Gulf Shores. Let's record. It sounds like something.
Gulf Shores is a place in Alabama, right? There's
is
like
on the coast.
casinos there.
No, it's near Mobile, but it's just like a beachfront place.
You don't know a shit about Alabama.
Fucking school me, guys.
Yeah.
Okay, number one at the box office, Commando.
Roll Tide
is our number one film for this week. So we're going to cover a movie that was never in danger of becoming number one at the box office. A 1985 black comedy mystery based on a board game. Can you guess what movie this is?
Is it Clue?
Holy shit, it is. You fucking brilliant piece of shit. I enjoyed this film a great deal. It has an amazing cast. Tim Curry, Madeline Kahn, Christopher Lloyd, Michael McKean, Martin Mull, Leslie Ann Warren, and Eileen Brennan.
It's great film.
And it was directed by Jonathan Lynn, who co-wrote it with John Landis, and it was produced by Deborah Hill, who you may know from her mini collabs with John Carpenter. 6 strangers are invited to a secluded New England mansion in 1954, and they are greeted by Tim Curry as Wadsworth the Butler, and given pseudonyms like the board game, such as Colonel Mustard and Miss Scarlet. At dinner, Mr. Body shows up and announces he's the one who's been blackmailing each of them individually and gives them each a weapon, like the board game, telling them to kill Wadsworth when the lights go out, and when they come back on, we see Mr. Body is now just a body, and he is dead. And then...
Did that come from Wikipedia?
No, that was all me. And then it's a murder mystery whodunit for the rest of the film, and I love it. It's very good. It's very fun. In the spirit of the board game, the film has 3 different endings, and when the film came out, you'd get to see a different ending depending on which theater you attended.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I don't know why that's in the spirit of the board game. In the spirit of the board game, there's one ending.
Because it ended every time.
I guess, yeah. Okay.
The ending of the game was not the same every time. There was always a different combination.
That feels like lazy writing. Like, how are we going to...
What are you talking about?
They had to film 3 different endings. If it were
Actually,
lazy.
they filmed 4, or wrote 4. The 4th one they decided was weak, and they dumped it. The 4th one was that Wadsworth did it all, but it wasn't very interesting, apparently. So they only went with 3.
I love the ultimate ending of the movie, the last line and everything that...
I'm going to go home and have sex with my wife. Yeah, I love the 3 endings. I think it's great. It's really fun. So when it came out, on home video and TV, the 3 endings were showed sequentially. The entire cast was paid the same salary and billing, despite their varying levels of notoriety. So Carrie Fisher was originally cast to play Miss Scarlet, but she was entering a drug and alcohol treatment and couldn't do the film. Leonard Rossiter was Lynn's first choice for Wadsworth, but he died before filming, and the second choice was Rowan Atkinson. You might know him as Mr. Bean. But they ultimately decided he wasn't well-known enough at that time. So they went with Tim Curry.
I think they
Tim Curry's a good choice.
Yeah,
they
it's an
cast it
excellent choice.
very
Tim
well.
Curry's excellent in everything.
It's true.
I hope...
Even Michael Crichton's...
Congo? Congo is a very fun movie.
You think?
Yeah.
I
It's
haven't
awful,
watched it.
but it's
I
so
saw it in the
fun.
theater, but I haven't seen it since then.
It is so ridiculous and fun.
I mean, I remember it being bad.
Ugly, ape, Amy, tickle Amy. That man was in love with Amy. The look on his face when they leave Amy in the jungle is like you're leaving a lover.
We'll have to do some research on how you breed apes in captivity.
Clue received
That
mixed...
was very unnecessary.
That should be on my tombstone. Clue received mixed reviews, mostly having issues with the admitted fact that it does drag in the second act. Gene Siskel said, Clue is a movie that needs 3 different middles rather than 3 different endings. Boom, roasted there.
Wow, okay.
It's a pretty good line. It did not do well monetarily. According to IMDb, Clue grossed $14.6 million on a $15 million budget. And I'm like, $15 fucking million? Where? Like, that seems insanely expensive for a small cast in a single location.
I agree. And they were all paid the same.
Exactly. And that's $43 million in today's money. That's a crazy number.
I wonder how much of that went to marketing.
I don't know, because I can't find anybody talking about it. I can't find any reason why it was so expensive. Let us know, listeners.
Let's get Tim
John
Curry
Landis,
on the
tell me,
podcast.
right in.
Michael McKean.
This movie is
us
pretty
know.
endlessly quotable. We already did it once. It has one of my favorite lines in any movie, which is an ad-libbed line by Madeline Kahn. Flames on the sides of my face.
She was so great.
She's fantastic. She was fantastic. Fun facts from this week in history. On this week's cover of TV Guide, pictured on the cover is Don Johnson and Sybil Shepherd. The copy says, "Turmoil on the set. The long hot summer of Don Johnson and Sybil Shepherd."
In what?
The Long Hot Summer.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
The Long Hot Summer was an NBC TV miniseries remake of a 1958 film of the same name starring Paul Newman. It's about a drifter in a small Mississippi town and romance. Perhaps the turmoil the cover alludes to is that, according to Sybil Shepherd, she had a sexual liaison with Don Johnson during the filming of this movie.
I mean, can you blame her?
I mean, look at the guy.
Yeah.
He got that Missouri smile.
Don Johnson called the solution they sprayed on him to make him glisten, quote, "combat sex sweat." That's a band. Part of the movie was filmed at the Myrtle Plantation, which is supposed to be one of the most haunted places in the South. And reportedly, when the crew would leave a room they had set up for filming, when they came back, the furniture would be rearranged into its original position while no one was in the room to move it.
That's just Don Johnson moving stuff
I
around.
wrote that it sounds like a key grip was having some fun. Also on the cover it says, "Out on a Limb. An expert predicts which miniseries will make it big," by David L. Walper, who was a TV producer.
How were those predictions going?
I could not find the interior of the TV Guide. Nor did I look for it.
This discourse about remakes and Don Johnson, I don't know why it took me to. Do you guys know they're remaking Roadhouse, or have they remade Roadhouse?
Yeah.
Yeah, isn't it with
Jake Gyllenhaal.
Jake Gyllenhaal, yeah. That
got all ripped
seems
and shit for it,
unnecessary.
yeah.
I like him. I like Roadhouse. I don't.
I'm open to it. I hope it has the same campiness on purpose, like tongue in cheek.
I don't think it will.
It just seems like, why? I mean, I know why. The answer is it's a built-in thing that people know, and so they're going to make money on it.
They just shouldn't remake movies, you know.
Yeah, I don't like. I mean,
Like Road Warrior,
shouting into a void here.
Mad Max, they shouldn't have redone. Transformers, they shouldn't have redone.
I mean, I disagree. You're the only one who says
Am I
that
trolling?
about Mad Max.
Maybe I'm trolling.
Fury Road was fantastic.
It
I
has-
That's
like
not
it
a
so
remake, though. That's like a continuation of the story.
No, it's a remake.
It's a remake.
Is it?
Yeah,
Yes.
it's a reimagining, I guess I would say.
Weak.
It's so much better than the originals.
I thought Fury Road was good.
Yeah, I loved it.
It was
Weak
good.
ending. Weak.
Then you'll love the
Weekly
fact that
week.
they're coming out with a Furiosa
I'm not going
movie.
to watch it.
All right.
You're not getting my money, Caleb said.
Yeah.
That's the real world.
All right.
All right. I don't really have any deviations, as production info on Joe is just non-existent. So Buzz Dixon wrote this one. We've spoken about him quite a bit. I did ask Brian why he chose this episode in particular for us to cover, and this is what he said. First, the episode has nostalgic value. I saw it at my Papa and Noni's house when it first aired on their giant 5,000-pound wood television that everyone's grandparents had. I loved going up there, and I missed them, which is sweet. He sent me a picture showing the TV in question, which I'll put on the site.
Awesome.
I also I personally loved it when technology was furniture.
Yeah.
We had a huge console TV.
Yeah. Same.
So secondly, he says, it's funny and in a smart way. I didn't fully understand all the jokes as a kid, but then I realized that this guy was a Geraldo parody, and this whole thing seemed to be Buzz Dixon lampooning the liberal media, especially when Shipwreck suggested ending world hunger with floppy disks.
That was a good line.
It is funny, yes. So finally, he says, it's got laughing gas. I don't know why the Army has laughing gas, but using it in a perilous situation where everyone is laughing and being serious at the same time is just brilliant, which I agree. I liked it. I thought it was very funny, and I like how they're laughing while they're like, we're going to be killed.
I totally get the lampooning the liberal media thing. I mean, they're doing this investigation of...
Yeah, I guess.
But it's like,
sure.
well, it's like they're lampooning the liberal media, but... Let's not act like the military isn't like pretending or is on the up and up in reality.
I'm just going to assume Buzz Dixon is kind of a military positive kind of guy.
He wrote a lot of
He
joke
did,
episodes.
so. I don't have any receipts
But
on
the
that.
problem with that is that Geraldo,
Is
like
not a
using
liberal
Geraldo
media guy.
as your like
If you watch that
stand-in for that is not a perfect metaphor.
If you watch it through today's lens, you could easily say that that's an approach of the conservative media now.
Yeah. Well, it is like they are. I feel like, yes,
It's almost
it is
as
a
if-
lampooning of Buzz Dixon is doing a liberal media thing, but the liberal media they're talking about in both this episode and today is using conservative talking points
Yeah.
or conservative styles.
It's almost as if they're framing their agenda around whatever their motivation is. That
At
is-
any rate, I thought it was. I agree. It was cool, and I liked it. And yeah, thank you, Brian. So according to Joepedia, the Now You Know bit attached to the end of this episode when it aired was gung ho telling kids you should never judge people until you give them a chance. Let's see what else I got.
Nice.
That's it. That's script deviation.
Nice.
One other point on that liberal media piece is that the quote unquote liberal media will let, like, when it comes to the military, they let them get away with whatever. Like, whether
Yeah.
you're liberal or conservative media.
Well,
But-
because it's like, it's not a thing. It's especially for America. It's like you're just gonna get so fucked over if you say anything bad about them.
the only people trying to reduce military budgets are conservatives will say they're do it for a pittance to get rid of woke military programs. But did you guys ever see that interview that Jon Stewart did with, I can't remember who it was. It was
I
some
didn't.
lady
No, I
in the
didn't see it.
military, and he was grilling her on military budgets because so much of the budget is unaccounted for, and
yeah.
he just totally made her look buffoonish.
Well-
And on a side note, he's coming back to the Daily Show. He's going to do an episode.
Well,
a week.
it is like this has been a thing forever. Like, there's no audit of the Pentagon. We have no idea where they're spending their money.
That was the point of the interview, and yeah,
yep.
there's
That's
no
it.
explanations. All right, rate the scheme.
Well, stupid. It's all bad. Baroness's scheme is terrible. She does a bad job.
I think it's effective.
In what way?
She totally gets the media, manipulates them into...
She brought them to their base.
Yeah, she got inside. I think she... that part. Yeah, you're right. She could have done better there. That part was a failure.
The plan to get the explosive gas.
You're right.
5.
Why
You're
that?
right.
Why
You're
that?
right.
I felt
No, I
like it was a
agree.
Transformers-esque scheme.
If it was a very yes. It was a factory of the month
right. There's energy
of the week. I meant
Well, I guess with Transformers it would be
energy.
energy, and here
here
it's
it's
like
weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Iconic Joe Mix.
Well, I guess you guys missed it. I wrote Hector kissing Duke on the cheek.
I did not see that. I put the Baroness reveal.
Yeah,
I didn't see it coming.
I knew that guy was somebody.
I remember...
I never expected it to be Baroness.
No. I remember...
Rip off the mask, and he's got a shapely form
It
all
is
of a
true.
sudden.
Like all of a sudden, there's tits, and she's wearing pants that clearly show her hips. But maybe that's because she's slouching in it. I mean, that is a technique people use to disguise them, is to slouch if you're tall. You know.
I don't. I like that briefcase thing. That blows
Yeah.
me. Like, why did they?
That
what was
didn't
the
occur to
point
me.
of building that,
didn't occur to
in?
me
It's weird.
until later. The iconic part to me is where I remember them laughing and basically saying, if we don't get out of here, we're all going to die.
That is pretty good. I would say that's a great
that
choice.
stuck out for me.
Also, that means the Baroness, in the form of Arnold, who was talking about the watchdog agency that if you're paying close enough attention stands for Cobra.
Yeah.
Made that up. Like, she's dropping her own Kaiser Sose hints
good.
about
She is
the villain.
good.
They cannot help themselves.
She's good.
All right, well, next up.
Also, apparently faked producer credits to get the job.
Yeah.
No kidding. She had to go to college.
Well, she didn't have to. You couldn't
For
check
4
anything in
years.
the 80s. People just believed who you said you were.
Yeah. She's a very competent interviewer.
Which I missed that time.
As you keep saying. But I agree with you.
I missed the time when you couldn't check shit up.
I agree with you.
Next time on the Autopod Decepticast, yes.
We're going back to the Beasts. We'll deliver on the previously promised storyline that I talked about last episode, where the Maximals upgrade their communication. So thank you for listening. If you want to support the show, the simplest way, give it a little review. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google Play, sub on the old YouTubes.
Give, my fellow Decepticons! Give till it hurts!
Our Patreon, of course, has several levels of support. Booty Box comes at the $5 level, but there are lower levels.
What is one low level?
There's a singular lower level.
And you get all the extras. We've been putting out pretty steadily mini-sodes on that.
Mm-hmm. And you can find that at patreon.com/APODcast, merch at the Autopod Decepticast store. I almost sat down and updated the website.
Well, that almost counts.
Our new merch. And I'm going to have to just shoot some photos and, I'll do it. I'm going to do it. It's on the checklist, man. And you can buy us a drink. What is that, Ryan?
Hey, if you would like to buy us a drink, you can send us $5 hairs to @APODcast on PayPal. And put in the notes what you'd like us to make, the recipe, maybe why, anything like that. And we will make that on a future episode and drink it.
If you want a toast of podcast and your credit don't stink, then reach inside your wallet now and buy us a drink.
There it is.
That very sound effect is why Caleb gets 1/3 of all proceeds.
33.3%.
Repeating forever. By the way, Defense Secretary Kathleen Hicks is who I was referring to earlier.
So go look that up, everybody.
John Stewart, Kathleen Hicks. It's quite a ride. And if you want to, talk, let's get personal for a little bit. You can do that on Twitter, Facebook, Threads, Instagram, all of them at APODcast. But the very best place, in my opinion, is if you become a patron at any level, you have access to the notorious APDC Discord.
That's right.
Very active.
Yeah,
Very
there's
good.
tons of stuff on there. It's great. It's a lot of fun. I love going on there pretty much every day.
There we go. That's it.
That's all. She wrote.
Dojo.
Bye, everybody.
See ya. Bye.
Bye, bye, bye.
Cells is the sponsor of Autopod Decepticast. Yes, 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 yes.